Hello and welcome back to lifeup. It's another great opportunity for you to get this information if you plan to travel abroad to live, study, or work. Today I'm going to share one of the programs that you can use to move to Canada. So, those of you who want to come and work in Canada, please watch to the end of this video. It may take a little bit of time, but make sure you watch every bit of it. I'll try to speed up things so that it doesn't take much of the time, but make sure you watch to the end and then get to know everything. After watching, if you have any question, feel free to put it in the comment section and then let's help build this family together. So thank you returning subscribers who always come here to see the information going on. I thank you. And then those who are new, please do well to smash the subscribe button and then hit on the notification button as well so that you don't miss any video that will come up. There are so many information here that if you plan to move from your home country to abroad, being it United States or Canada, you can look at these videos and it's going to help you. Actually, I'm giving you authentic information. I'm giving you authentic information. And then that is it. And then, as you know, I always say, I'm not an immigration agent, I'm not an immigration lawyer. All that I give you is information that I know is going to help you. The research that I've made, the experience that I've had, and then what is going on is what I'm sharing for you. And then I don't do application for anybody. You get information, you do your own application. If you think what I'm giving you is relevant, that can help you, you follow through, and then you do your own application. If you need any assistance in terms of asking of something for clarity, I will do my best to help you in that way. Even if I don't know the right answer to it, I will try to find out or direct you to the appropriate personalities that can help you with the right answers. So we're building this family to a stronger one. We know it's not easy, so we are helping each other and helping each other. You could come to abroad. There's no need to pay any agent. You can do this yourself if you watch my videos. There are other people who do such videos. You may watch them too. But I watched some of those videos and then I realized that, well, what you're saying is true, but they don't tell you everything. So you follow through and then you get to a point and then you're stuck. Yes, I'll tell you everything that you need. So, as I always say, the first thing first is very important. Watch this video. Watch this video to know how to prepare for. Moving abroad is not, um, I don't know even how to put it. It's easy, but it's not simple. It's easy, but it's not simple. You need to prepare yourself very well. You need to get all the documents that is needed because if you have every document that is needed, that is asked of you, then it becomes easy for you. All that you need to do is just apply, put on your document, and then pray to God to get a positive response because a lot of people are applying. So the little mistake that you make in your documentation deny you can deny you. So I'm ready to give you all this information. So now we're going to see how you can move to Canada with this program, Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot. This is a program that everybody who is eligible will qualify. It is not country specific. It's open to all. It's open to all. Some of the programs are country specific, like the immigration pathway will be country specific and it becomes difficult. That is what most people don't tell you. So if you see, oh, well, you can come to Canada through this, but they don't tell you your country doesn't qualify. So always any of those videos you watch, and you have to be sure that your country qualify before you start your application. Make sure you qualify before you start your application. So this is one of the pathway, rural and northern immigration. So let's look at it. So in the rural, in the northern part of Canada, a lot of people don't want to move there. Being that one, it is rural, and then it is in the northern part, it is always very cold over there. So a lot of people don't want to move there. So there are shortage of jobs. So from 2019, the Canada government, IRCC, decided that we're going to run this pilot to get more people, foreigners, to come and live in those in those region, being the rural and the northern part of Canada. There's nothing wrong with the rural northern part. You are an immigrant, so what you're looking for is how to enter there. But you should know that it's not easy over there too. It's not easy over there too. So about the program, I'm not going to read it because it's going to take much of our time. So if you go to the website, you can read it yourself. So about the program, rural and northern have changed. So like they started in 2019. So now there have been some changes. There have been some changes there. So if you click here, you're going to see the changes that has happened. But we'll go through the normal process, and then you know how it works. Like the general overview of the program, I'll walk you through in this video, and then you know how it's works. So there's some fees involved. That's what they're telling here. Our permanent resident fee have increased. That is when you've gone through everything and then you are ready to apply for the permanent residence. You have to pay the immigration fee. That is what they're saying. It has been increased. That increased from 2022 April. So these are the process. There are 4 steps to apply for permanent resident under this pilot. So the first step is you have to meet 2 eligibility criteria. The first one is meeting the government, the federal, the IRCC eligibility criteria. And then the second one is meeting the community criteria, because it is run by different communities. Each of them have their own criteria. So the IRCC eligibility criteria is going to be general, and then the community specific will be specific to the community that you want to work in it. So if you meet this criteria, both of them, you must meet both of them. If you meet it, the next thing is to find a job with an employer in the community that you want to. We get to see the communities very soon. The community that you want to work in, get a job. That means you have to get a job offer. So once that you have the job offer, you submit your application for recommendation to the community. So after you've got your job, then you submit an application with a job offer that the employer has given you for recommendation to the community. So the community will also make sure like everything is genuine, everything is true. And then if they give you that recommendation letter, then you apply to IRCC for your permanent residence. So like I said each community will also have its own additional eligibility requirement, job search process, community recommendation application process. So like each community will have their own thing. But the important thing is meet the IRCC requirement, meet the community requirement, find a job. If you get a job, um, apply for recommendation. If you get a recommendation, then I would say you are 90% true to get a permanent residence after you've gotten your recommendation. You then apply for your permanent resident, and then since you meet all these, the community has given you a recommendation, meaning The IRCC will only look at your application, your papers, and verify everything and then give you your permanent residence. So these are the communities that are participating in this program. So like each of the community will have its own process. Each of the community will have its own process. So some of the things you can expect from the community is that best fit the economic needs of those community and then have a genuine employment opportunity. This is where some of the agents will fake employment and give you employment offers, and then at the end they will take your money, give you a fake employment offer, but guess what? If it get to the higher place, it's going to be seen. And then you, if you are lucky, they will just like take it out and then tell you we are sorry. If you are not lucky to, they are going to ban you. So be careful with agents if you are dealing with such things. Be careful with agents if you are dealing with such things. Make sure the employee, if you are working with an agent, make sure like you do everything with that agent. Make sure the employer that the agent says he's helping you get a job with, you've gone through an interview, a proper one. I know some agents will can even fix an interview for you, but make sure that you know the workplace, you verify everything, and then make sure you have the good um, work job offer, because after the agent takes your money and you are denied, you have nothing to do with the agent again. And I recommend candidates for permanent. So the community is going to recommend you to IRCC. They will give you, that's the Canadian Immigration Office. So they are going to give you that permanent resident. That's for a final decision. And then if you get that, then you're ready to move. And then this things is like with your family. You're ready to move with your family to that community. So that is it. Let's see the communities are here and each community have its own. Let's look at the federal criteria. So this is for the, oh, we have to go through the, so I think uh, okay. So okay, I would say no, I don't have. Okay. So if you have not, because I've not applied for community recommendation yet, so have qualified work experience. So these are some of the things that the federal bill have: qualified work experience or have graduated from like a post-secondary institution, meet or exceed language requirements. So you need to get your, sorry, you need to get your language requirement, either IELTS or whatever it is. You need to get it. Meet or exceed educational requirements. So this is, you need to do ECA to evaluate your education, and then proof of enough money. This shouldn't be a problem. Proof of enough money shouldn't be a problem, because there are so many ways that you can go about that. And then intend to live in that community, and then the community specific requirement. So that is it. So these are the federal. So I think the federal, what you need is your ECA, your requirement, English requirement, and then your work experience. That is what the IRCC will be looking at. So your work experience, they are looking for, you need 1 year of work experience in the past 3 years, at least 1 year in the past 3 years. And then, yes, I talk of NOCs in one of my previous videos. So these are the NOCs that they will also, your work experience should be in. Yeah, so those are the NOC, and this is for international students. So if you are an international student, so those of you, that's why I say if if it's difficult for you to go through this some of this route, just apply for school. After you graduate, there are so many ways you can get your permanent resident to continue your life here in Canada. So for international students, they have their criteria for them. So these are the English, and then yeah, these IELTS they don't take much. So if you are NOC, TER 0 and 1, they're looking for 6. 2 and 3, they're looking for 5. 4 and 5, they are looking for 4. So, and these are like the national occupation classification. Sorry, classification. These are the NOCs. And then your educational requirement. This is where you have to do the ECA, Educational Credential Assessment. They have a body that does that just to evaluate your home country school, your education, your grades to that of Canada's. And then so they'll just evaluate it and then give you a Canadian grade. So that is what the ECA does. And I think this one they don't even do cost to cost. Like, yeah, if you get it, they know what. And then the settlement fund, the money that you need to settle, about that shouldn't be a problem for you. And then your intention to live in the community, and then to participate in the, you must plan to live in the community. Yeah, you must plan to live in the community. So at least for 2 3 years, plan to live in that community. After that, if you get your permanent resident, you can move anywhere in Canada that you want to move to. You move. So let's look at one of the communities. So this is in Ontario, North Bay, Ontario. Let's look at it and see how things. Like I said, the communities is specific. So we look at the federal eligibility criteria, and then each community will also have its own criteria. So this is a website for the North Bay and area, rural and northern immigration pilot. So if you go to applicants, yeah, so the applicant, this is what you expected to do. We're not going to read. It's important to read this IRCC so that you know what the IRCC want. Because even if the community pass you and then you don't meet the IRCC criteria, you still will not be able to go through. You still will not be able to go through. So you have to check that. So this is the process this is specific to the North Bay. So you start you ensure your eligibility, both the two, the federal eligibility. So that is this federal eligibility, IRCC eligibility, and then the community-based eligibility. Ensure that you do that. And then you find a job in the community. You find a job in the community. If you find a job and then you receive offer of employment, you apply for recommendation. After you apply for recommendation, you get your recommendation, then you submit your permanent resident application. Then you wait for approval. And then this is a pilot, so it doesn't take longer time. They work on it very fast. Then you wait for approval. After you get your approval, you'll be given a work permit and a permanent resident. And even if your permanent resident may delay, most of the times they will give you a work permit first that you can start working while they work on your permanent resident. So that is the process you have to go through. You have to go through. So if you look at here, this will tell you the federal requirement, what we went through just now. This will tell you the community-based criteria. Let's look at the community-based criteria over here. So this is the community-based criteria. They have candidate eligibility criteria, candidate recommendation criteria. So these are all that you have to go through. So meet the federal eligibility criteria, and then have received genuine job offer in one of the NOCs in North Bay area, and then have work experience in the commensurate with that is commensurate with the duties and responsibility required. So make sure that the job that you are applying for, you have a work experience in that job. So this is one. And then the two is, yeah, English. You have to meet the English requirement. And then you have candidate knowledge in both language, either English or French, whichever language. And then your age, yeah, they look at your age, they consider your age. Candidate possession of a valid driver's license within Canada or the current. So if you have a driver's license, that is something that they look at too. Candidate past residence and level of familiarity with rural and remote. So yeah, they make sure you are familiar, you've lived in a remote area before, and then that is not a problem. All this shouldn't be a problem for you. You're familiar with friendship ties and established members of the community. So this is also something that we need. It's good. Some of the community will want you to have some family ties in that community. So that is what they say. The candidate familiar or friendship ties to an established member of the community. To demonstrate a candidate connection to the community, the family member must be a permanent resident or Canadian citizen age 18 years or older and had. So this is something that um you can get. If you get it, you can get somebody that you have ties with. The Ghanaian community here is big. Some of them may help you to get that ties. Candidate undertaking an exploratory visit to, so like, yeah, that may not apply to you, but those in Canada, students, and you can just take a visit over there, stay there for about 5 days. So all these are some of the things that they do, and then you have to go for an interview. You go for an interview, and then yeah, operational consideration and information. So they will take you through all this, and then other point to consider, immigration representative. This is depend on you. You may choose an immigration representative, which we call immigration consultant, or a lawyer to assist you in your application, or you can do it. You may choose to use a representative to assist you in finding a qualified job offer, completing, so like doing the rest of the process. This is what I say. It's there. You may choose them, you may look for them, they will charge you, they will do it for you, but you have to be careful. If you fall in the hands of the wrong people, they are going to do fake documents for you, which at the end. So that is it. This is for Ontario. Let's go back. So that is for the first part. That is what they look for. And then you find a job. So to find a job, they have job sites here that you can look at. So to find a job, these are frequently asked questions. So you build your profile, and then offer of employment form. This is a form that your employer will fill. These are some of the NOCs that they are looking for in the health care and then social worker. So all these nurse aid, patient services, registered nurses, practitioners, social workers, all this. If you go to the trade, they have all this. If you go to business administration, they have all this. If you go to technology, they have this. And then other professions, they have this. So there's a whole lot. And then this is open. Yeah. If you don't, this is open there. So applicant with job offer not listed in any of the NOCs, only at the discretion of the community recommendation committee. So it is open. If your NOC is not listed, you can still apply, but the committee is going to look at it, and then in their own description, like give you the go ahead. So like you could see a whole lot that you could do. So like if you come to the trade, licensed and unlicensed, heavy duty equipment, automobile, construction, welders, carpenters, electrician, plumbers, transport trucking. So these are all that's that you can have. But the problem I found with most Ghanaians and other African people is um, somebody might be a good carpenter, but he doesn't have any certificate for that. And even if he has a certificate for that, like he can't meet, because he can't speak English, he can't speak French, and then he can't meet that language requirement. So that becomes very difficult for you, because if you can't meet that language requirement, that is it, an English test that you have to go and write. That is not your school certificate. Even if you are a PhD holder, you still have to go and write that test to get that document, the English requirement. So that is the difficult part for most young guys who have trade, but they don't meet that requirement, so they are not able to move on So I will encourage every young person. Yes, if you work in any of these here in Canada, you're going to get enough money. But before you enter, you need to get that English requirement. You need to get that English requirement. So if you are learning a trade, please do well to learn English too. Even if you have some classes that you do English, you are able to speak English, you are able to write English, and then your trade, I know for that is not difficult. Getting a certificate for your trade is not difficult, because I think NVTI is there that can, they give certificate for trade. Even if you learned it somewhere, you could just go there for a month or even weeks to like demonstrate that you can do it, take an exams, and then give you certificate. So that is not a problem. But for the English requirement becomes a problem. So do well to do that. Learn your English. If you really want to travel abroad, learn your English and then get that, either English or French. So these are the NOC. So you look for the job. And then I'm looking at, they did not show any. I think, okay, I think that might be up somewhere where to, yeah, employment. So that is here is where you may go to look for the job. We'll go there. So after you find your job, then you complete your forms. You have to complete Schedule 1, your form, and then you submit your offer and employment. So your employer needs to sign this form, and then the Schedule 1 rural immigration pilot, and then you have to send it to them, and then they will look at it and then help. If you qualify, they give you that letter. If they need any other document, you can add it up to here. So like I always give you warning, they also giving you warning. Fraud and misrepresentation are taken very serious by RNIP community and by IRCC. So any business or individual found to be misrepresenting themselves or committing fraud will be banned from applying for recommendation for the duration of the pilot, along with any associated parties. So this is very important. Be careful with any agents that you work with, and don't forge any documents, because if you are found, you'll be banned. If you're not found, you are okay. And especially those here as students or those here on visit and who still want to go through this pilot, be careful you don't forge any document, because if you are found, you'll be banned and deported. So be careful you don't forge any document. There are so many pathways. If you don't meet all the criteria for this, you may look at another pathway. Okay, so you don't have to forge any document like I was saying. Then be careful with the agent, because some of the agents might take your money and forge document for you. It may look very new. So far as if your forged document get to IRCC and they find out, that is a ban for you. If you're outside Canada, that is a ban for you for some years or forever, depending on whatever they found and how they want to treat you. And then if you're inside Canada too, that is going to be a ban or deportment. So just be careful. Just be careful. So this is just one example. North Bay and area. So if you come to their employment, this is where you may find the employment. So qualifying job. So you may look for the employment here, and then this is where you apply for the employment. So if you meet the federal requirements, you meet the North Bay requirement, then you come here. Here is where you have to find the employment. So you could see a lot of employments here. Some of them were posted long ago. Some of them too are very new here. This is 3 weeks. And this is a full-time permanent job. Store manager, retail, and then service technician. Yeah, this closes just the end of this month. Automobile service technician. So these are some of the jobs that you may look for. This is where they have their job, but you can also look at Indeed and then Job Bank to still find job in this area. And then if they qualify, you just have to find out if they qualify. But it's easy if you get some of the job they've posted here, but you can still find job within that community outside their job that they've posted here. Is that the job that they've posted here? So yeah, that is it. A whole lot. Let me see. Yeah. So that is how it works. And this one doesn't have any restriction on nationality. This is open to all. This is open to all. So you can come to Canada through this Northern and Rural Immigration Pilot. It started in 2019. And then, because of COVID, a whole lot of things ceases, and then they are still working on it now. They're still working on it now. So let me try. Let me see if I could go back to the home page so you can look for. Okay, so we just look at North Bay. So you can look at Sudbury, Ontario. So if you click here, you see, I think Ontario have a lot of days. Yeah, this is Brandon, Manitoba. So a whole lot that you can look at and then try which one. I always encourage you could try all of them, because basically they are all going to look at the same thing. So this is Sault Ste. Marie. Yeah, so this is also what they also have. So for applicant, you click here, you start. So, but it all follow the same process, just that the community requirements may be a little bit differ with their criteria, but it's the same process. Qualify for their community, qualify for the federal, get a job, get recommendation, apply for permanent resident, and then come to Canada. It's as simple as that if you have the documentation. So this is it for today. I think this video has been the longest one I've made, but yeah, I know it is going to help you. That's why I did that. So thank you for staying to the end of this video. If you have not subscribed, please do well to smash the subscribe button, hit the notification button. Share this for others. Share this for others. You don't know. Sharing it for others, and then that person might get a chance to, oh, it was you who gave me that information. So don't keep any of the information you are receiving. Share it for others to also know. If you have any question, put it in the comment section. Reach out to me with any of your question. I'll do my best to assist you. So thank you. See you next time. If you have a trade, make sure you learn English, learn how to speak and write so that you can get your English requirement. 4 is easy, you can get it. So see you next time. Bye.